Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again, and I wanted to talk about Maniac Cop. From 1988, it gets a 6 on IMDb. It gets a 5.5 from me. Uh, Now, I heard that the sequel, I didn't see that one yet, but it should be more gory, more action packed, better than the first one. I'm not sure, but the first one does have Tom Atkins in there as Detective Frank McKay, Bruce Campbell in there playing police officer Frank Forrest, and he's a kind of a asshole in this one. He's cheating on his wife with think fucking prostitutes, and he, he's an asshole. And you got Laureen London, who plays Teresa Mallory, an undercover cop for Vice. So she plays a hooker, and and can arrest some Johns, right? Who ask her to let's fuck behind the fucking dumpster or something. $10. And then you've got Robert Zudar. Now, he plays the maniac cop, but his real name was police officer Matt Cordell. Now, Zudar, there's a Chris Stuckman review that I can recommend. It's called uh, Hillerosity Reviews. So he made these Hillerosity reviews of these so bad they're good movies. They're so you. I laughed my ass off when he did the Samurai Cop review. Zadar is the one of the main bad guys in that one, and it's so funny. I recommend you seeing that. It's like 45 minutes long, but you're gonna laugh your ass off. Now the director is William Lustig, and that's a prolific director. He did the remake of Maniac with Elijah Wood, Evil Dead: Army of Darkness, Darkman, and many more. He did a lot of great movies. I didn't know that it was such a prolific director for this movie. Now, of course, you got Tom Atkins, you got Bruce Campbell, Robert Zudar, and all. No, Robert Zudar wasn't anywhere near famous, and like I said, he did these extremely B movies, Z movies, like Samurai Cop, and this is probably his best work. Now, spoilers. I'm just gonna talk spoilers. Not basically, without talking spoilers. And then I'll talk about spoilers. New York, I believe New York is being. People are dying. Okay, people are dying by hits to the head, uh, bullet wounds, multiple kind of by the maniac cop. The maniac cop, I believe, I'm not sure if it's this one or the second one. He has this, this billy club. Cops have to slam on you, hard rubber. But I believe he gets a knife out of there, and he can stab somebody. He's super strong, and Matt Cordell himself was pretty strong too, but he was framed and sentenced to jail, and he didn't do anything wrong. He was actually a decorated police officer, and Tom Atkins' character Frank McKay knew him personally. They were friends. But in jail, he got attacked by these, of course, a cop in jail. That's no good. He gets attacked in the shower. Don't drop soap. No, that didn't happen. But they had all these shank knives and they cut him up in his face. And he eventually hold for a good part, for a good chunk. He held his own because he was a muscular dude. He's punching these guys. But there were too many, and they cut him up and kill him in the shower. Now he comes back as this, basically as a walking corpse with a police outfit on, and he comes back for revenge. That's basically what's going. And he comes back for revenge not on those prisoners, but on the society that basically, put him in that.
I always told her she ought to audition for one of those comedy joints.
All the more reason I would think he wants his little bastards to put away.
Police officer that weren't there. He's
Don't pass out on
hunting
me, Lovejoy.
like
Take a
Frank
look at the
McKay
size
because he wasn't there
of those
to help.
hematomas. Now, you think either one of those two kids could have done that?
So that's basically the story, okay? And now I'm gonna talk spoilers. Now, Frank McKay, it's weird because you've got Bruce Campbell here and there, snippets. You see he's arguing with his wife, and his wife is like, you feel sad for the wife because he's constantly fucking other women. And Bruce Campbell is, like I said, not a likable person in this movie. Although he is the one who's gonna stop the maniac cop. But the weird thing is, he doesn't really do things except fucking women when Frank McKay, Tom Atkins, is on the case. And that's him, and then he also knows the undercover cop, Teresa. But at some point, Teresa gets attacked by the maniac cop. She shoots him twice here, okay, and then because at some point she could get away. He hold her like this, and eventually she can get away, and she's having coffee in a diner with Frank McKay, and he says, "What the hell happened to your neck?" And she says, "I shot the guy." Sure, okay, he was wearing Kevlar. No, I shot him twice in the head. And then, of course, McKay is starting to think, and then he starts to know that it's Matt Cordell, and at some point he wants to stop him, but sadly enough, he can, because there's this fight in the police station. He goes into the police station, kills a bunch of cops, and in the second movie, it's apparently even more grandiose. Like, he kills dozens and dozens of cops, slaughters them, and in this police station, and killing the prisoners. He's more. The second one is maniac cop on steroids. So he goes in the police station. Tom Atkins' character shooting him because he's trying to kill Teresa, but then he pivots towards Tom Atkins. He punches him around a little bit, picks him up, and throws him out of the window. And there goes Frank McKay, Tom Atkins' character, and he's dead. Pivot to Bruce Campbell's character in a room where he just fucked a prostitute. He now becomes a guy. Like I said, the first half is Tom Atkins' moment. Second half is Bruce Campbell's moment. So that's weird. That's weird. So he he goes to the police and he gets to know Teresa, and like I said, and he's flirting with her, and he has a fucking wife, and you're thinking, oh my god, what an asshole. And he's the guy that we have to root for. You know, eventually he he kills the maniac cop by the maniac cop driving his van into the ocean, in the water, in the sea, and he drowns because I think he cuffed his hand to the steering wheel, and he can't get out. That was the thing. He drowns, but he's still alive. It's like Jason. You can't drown Jason, but you can. For some reason, in Crystal Lake, you can, you know, lock him there. You know, like with chains and a stone or whatever. Apparently with Maniac Cop too, but okay. So the good things about the movie, you got Tom Atkins, great actor. There were some really good shots, cinematography wise. They really used the city and the griminess, and they used the Maniac Cop being this big ass guy, because Robert Zara isn't that big, but they made him look big. This shadow, big shadow looming, and when he takes, I think he had a knife, or it's in the second one. I may be confused. That he takes out of his, like I said, is what's it called, a billy boy. I mean those batons, you know, where police officers used to hit somebody. And then you see that knife coming out, and you only see the gleam of the knife, and the rest is a shadow figure, or you see the head coming out of the shadow, and then you see this fucked up face with all these cuts in his face by the prisoners that did that to him. Yeah, William Lustig did a great job, and Tom Atkins again, really. I love Tom Atkins, and he's a real, he's a horror alumni. I actually only know the guy from horror movies. I mean, The Fog, Creepshow. I have more. I mean, the Maniac Cop, the remake of My Bloody Valentine. He probably did some other things, but a lot of horror movies, and he's really good. And Halloween 3, where he usually plays this suave, flirty guy who he always gets to ladies, and in this one he's also suave, and there's something about Tom Atkins that women think he's the man's man, and he's kind of the man's man, you know, but without the mustache, no. The Fog, no. It looks weird, no. Tom Atkins, no. But Tom Atkins acts great. Bruce Campbell, yeah, if you're gonna play a cheating husband, fine. Then he did what he accomplished to do in this movie. But being the hero then of the movie, it sucked, because you don't care about this asshole. Who you do care for is Teresa, and she also helps killing him. So you're rooting for her, but hopefully that she doesn't have sex with Bruce Campbell's character, Frank Forrest, because he's also flirting with her, and he's just despicable in my opinion. Like I said, you're gonna root for a guy, his wife's super sad, and you're gonna root for a guy like that. That sort of backfired, and you know, so I sort of started to root for Teresa Mallory, you know, the undercover cop. Now not undercover, of course, anymore, but. And the maniac cop looks intimidating. He looks creepy. I don't think he says something. I don't think he can speak or doesn't want to speak. I'm not sure. Like I said, the only bad thing about the movie is, in my opinion, Bruce Campbell. The gore is not whoa. The kills aren't super gory, but you got some kills, some cool kills. But like I said, the gore, apparently the second one has the most gore. Yeah, like I said, Maniac Cop apparently on steroids. So, but it's a good movie. It's a 5.5. You know, it's one that I revisit every now again. I think it's free on YouTube. I'm not really sure, so I'm not gonna 100% say it's free, but I think it's free on YouTube. The first one at least. But like I said, it's a good movie. The only thing that bothered me was Bruce Campbell's Frank Forrest being this. He does a great job being the unfaithful husband, but you don't want to root for this guy, you know. And that was the problem. That was a problem. Where in the Evil Dead movies, you're always rooting for him. Here, and the weird thing is, like I said, the first half is Tom Atkins' arc, and then the second half is Bruce Campbell's arc. So it would be cooler to see them team up, you know, because you root for Tom Atkins, you root for the undercover cop, not for Bruce Campbell. Personally, he could have been thrown out of the window and let Tom Atkins, because that's more logic, you know, putting Tom Atkins, pitting him against his former partner, which was Matt Cordell, and, you know, fighting it out. But no, they went with a different route. Probably also because Bruce Campbell was a famous guy at that point with the Evil Dead movies. 1988, this one's from 1988, so I believe the first Evil Dead was from 1980, and then he got the second one, and I believe the third one, and William Lustig directed the third one, Army of Darkness, so he already knew Campbell. And something different something on the side. This weekend, the biggest Comic Con of the country we're going to go to the biggest Comic Con. I'm gonna take some pictures, film some things, but we are gonna go as VIPs, me and my wife. And there is this. It's not only you got all these stands with all this merchandise, but then you have these big halls with people doing board games and actors. Elijah Wood is gonna be there. That's why I'm telling this with the remake of Maniac, and another famous actor, but I forgot the name. I have to look it up again. And in the other room, they're like these, like the Ghostbusters, and you have that game from the first Ghostbuster, where you know where you have this electrode, and you gotta through mind control know what the card is. If it's wrong, you get this electric shock. Remember that from the first Ghostbuster movie? You got all these attributes, the A-Team car, and there's apparently a horror maze with Art the Clown, and it's sort of surrounding art, the clown, that horror maze. So it's gonna be a cool time. I'm gonna make a few movies, a few clips, a few pictures, and I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna put that on my channel. Yeah, for sure. So hereby, Samurai Cop. Check it out and tell me what you think about it. Subscribe. It's free, and see you next time. Bye.